Welcome, everybody. This is a recorded video, didn't go live. I've been quiet ever since Sunday night, and I took some time off Monday, Tuesday. There's one of my students is away, so wasn't teaching last night. And of course, she was away. She's been away for a while. She'll be back, I guess, by the first. And of next month coming in. I wasn't on yesterday, which was Wednesday, July the 16th. Now, I was supposed to be teaching a course, and no one was able to sign up, so I'm going to turn that course into pre-recorded short videos. And I might, instead of making it 8 videos, I may cut it down to 6 videos. Now, this portion was for Resident Essentials Esoteric School of Metaphysics. Many of you know by now that is the place where I teach at on Saturdays, and usually once or twice a month I go there and I do an afternoon of remembrance. So this time around, I have decided to do something completely different for this podcast. Now, usually when I podcast live, sometimes I'm talking about different subject matters. And I was kind of wondering, what should I be teaching? Well, I've been teaching off and on for a long time that it is time for all of us to invite the presence of our higher self. And as you can see back there, this book right here is my most recent book that came out last year. And it's all about how to connect, activate, and communicate with your higher self. And I mentioned 7 specific amazing pathways in which you can do that. I'm not selling you the book tonight, but I'm just mentioning that. All my books are on Amazon.com under my name, Francis E. Revels-Bey. So if you want more information, just email me at iam.circlegrace1@gmail.com. Well, today is Thursday evening, July 17th, 2025. And I am the host and the originator of Clear Blue Radiance. Of course, I use the name Brother Francis E. Revels-Bey. I've been a spiritual counselor for over 40 plus years, and I enjoy helping people such as yourself gain greater clarity in your life. And also, as you begin to change, redefine your purpose, because your purpose changes as you change. And this is how we discover new things about ourselves. The topic is, what are you feeling? What are you feeling? Well, now there's another part to that title, but many of us have been dealing with some, I'm not going to call it strange energies, but nonetheless, energies flowing through our heart, our mind, all of our chakras. There's many other things, people feeling a great deal of sadness and fear because of the worldly events, and especially here in the USA, United States of America, North America. So the other part is, yes, the shift is intensifying and happening within yourself. Remembrance is key. Well, as I've said, while so much is happening in the news, we are seeing too many upheavals and events happening before our eyes and behind the news media's wall. And of course, within our own American government. So I don't want anybody to start to think, is he going to talk about politics? No, I'm not going to talk about politics. However, this is not the first time. You know, for thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of years, there's always some form of upheaval, all kind of events going on that just literally is mind-boggling. We've been taught by various movies that people who are indigenous to all the lands seem to be out of touch with the so-called modern time during their time. And that's not true. It's the other way around. People who feel like they're part of the modern times are actually as far away from the truth of the land and everything in the land, on the land, and above the land. Totally out of sync with it. We might think that fancy big $1 million houses and cars and planes and other things, clothes, are the most inviting things to have. But these have not been it. There are many people who are not happy with the large grossness of things that they have. They're still not happy. Some people have been acquired, been able to find those bits and pieces of land where they can be out there and quiet. And other people have found just smaller locations to be in and still be satisfied. Of course, now a lot of things are happening outside of ourselves, and these things are clouding our view of ourselves. It's hard for us to see who we truly are. All is a part of a simulated program known to us as the Matrix. You remember seeing the 3 movies with Keanu Reeves playing Neo, which is, you reverse those letters, means one. But even Neo means something too. Everything is symbolic. Pre-generated, I'm going to use that, pre-generated, or just constant regeneration through many years ago. This is a part of the reason why we are seeing AI out now, artificial intelligence, but that's been going on for a long time. How many of you remember the comic book or the Sunday comics with Dick Tracy? Dick Tracy, Dick short for Richard. Richard Tracy, that was the cartoon character. He was a detective and he had a watch, right? Remember that? He had a watch and he was able to talk into the watch. And what is people doing right now? People got Apple iPhones as a watch and talking through their watch. But that was going on back in, I believe, what, the 40s and the 50s. Sunday comic strip, Dick Tracy, talking through a phone on his wrist. A part of artificial intelligence. Then many of you may have remembered the movie Manchurian, the Manchurian movie. Forget the full title. Frank Sinatra did it first, late Frank Sinatra. And I believe later on was, I think Denzel Washington was in the other one. The Manchurian Candidate, that's the movie. Where the guy got the chip in the neck, was being manipulated remotely, and that guy was being manipulated to become an assassin. I think Denzel's character or Frank Sinatra's character was able to take the chip out of their neck or shoulder, wherever it was placed. Artificial intelligence. We have gone from fending off GMOs. GMOs is short for genetically modified organisms. That means the food is not real. Some foods are grown in a test lab or just grown in an area. If I'm not mistaken, I think tilapia fish is like that, slightly modified. They don't even eat the fish. I remember when I first used to eat it, it's a kind of tasty, but kind of strange taste at the same time. So these and more dastardly events keep happening. All the time we are being tested and constantly bombarded with trash, electronically overwhelmed with computers, Wi-Fi, radio frequencies, subliminal messages, people remotely viewing our homes, chemtrails, cloud seeding, then all of the unusual illnesses with no real basis at hand. All of this shifting is happening around and within us. Now, I'm kind of reading from my notes a little bit because there's a lot of information, even though it's generalized a little bit. Now, it's happening around us and within us. We have to begin to make more decisions and stay away from bad areas, what we might call bad areas, or those that even appear to be all right. Yet you can feel nefarious energy building up and coming darkly and secretively over the horizons. That means we're bombarded all day long, all these cell towers. How many of you live near a railroad crossing where you got those towers there buzzing and they smell awkward and off? How many people remembered all the negative chemicals that went into or through the water of Flint, Michigan? How many people remember, like I did, living on Long Island, where you got the people spraying for mosquitoes and didn't care if children were in the street? They're riding through the street, spraying in the air, supposedly killing the mosquitoes. No, the children getting sick. Chemicals being poured into lakes, ponds, sewers, and all that stuff was poisoning the waters. And after I know on Long Island, they were discovering how many people were having cancer out of nowhere over a 10-year stretch. Many chemicals in the water. So we've got to make decisions. Nefarious events constantly coming our way. I do not know about yours, your elders, your relatives, the ones who are in the light. But my elder relatives who are in the light, when they were here on this side of the veil, always spoke about turning one of your meal plates down. Yeah, take your plate and flip it. Take your cup on the saucer and flip the cup over onto the saucer, or your glass. You just had a glass and all you could drink was water. That simulated fasting. And spend more time praying incessantly. That was the big thing for people who grew up in the Southern Baptist churches all the time. Pentecostalist ministers in their congregations, Wednesday nights, Friday nights, and Sundays, sometimes all day Sunday and all day Saturday. Constant prayer vigils, as they called it. Those who grew up in the South might remember their grandparents opening their doors to their homes at night and speaking out into the ethers. I remember being in Georgia with family members and hearing elders open the screen door at night out to the backyard and praying into the dark, into the ethers at night. Those elders were in that mindset, praying from the upper room, as they would call it. Upper room, upper room. People have been channeling through all civilizations to and from the heart of divine source and seeking the nectars within the fruits of higher guidance. Now, I remember my mother was, as much as she used to, with my dad, who was a Mason at the time, used to go to church, on Wednesday nights and Friday nights. And then they weren't Pentecostalists. So they went Sundays and usually Wednesday nights. Wednesday night was Bible training night. But hey, several of those ministers and elder ministers, male ministers at the time, were Masons. And the elder women were Eastern Stars. They knew what they were doing. The greater congregation didn't. But I remember my mother was reading Bible with a concordance Bible, was able to flip back from Old Testament to New Testament through the Psalms and all of that stuff, but also being metaphysical, studying Rosicrucian stuff and a star group training things, getting that additional symbolism into place. Well, our consciousness is being uprooted. Our consciousness has shifted already. It didn't just begin to shift, it has been shifting for a long period of time. Look at the people who follow the paths of Yoruba, Santeria, Vodun. Their consciousness has been shifting all the time. People studying Shintoism, Taoism, Confucianism, Sufism, many, many schools of thought to shift the consciousness, to begin to go deep within one's nature, in one's truth, and pull out the greatest of the truths within ourselves. Our consciousness has shifted. We're leaving this hard 3D world. That's why all the uprisings are happening all around the world now. European countries, over here. But you've seen it before. It's been happening in the deepest parts of the motherland called Africa or Akibulan. It's been going on for a long time. People trying to take the pyramids and move them around, trying to take the obelisk and move them around. Hey, they're all over the world. They've been planted all over the world. If you go to New York City in Central Park, there's the needle sitting there. And people, I've known a few people go sit around the needle or by the needle, having it in its semicircle, doing prayer work, meditation work, teaching classes, channeling higher vibrations. Been doing that for over 10, 20 years. People all throughout the United States finding the various mountains, as they call them, that look like pyramids underneath. People going as close as they can to Sedona, Area 51, and all other areas where they're forbidden to be, but going. People doing CE5 training, I think that's what it's called. Look up Dr. Stephen Greer. Then you have many astrologers who can map out whole situations. I think recently, from the earlier parts of this month of July, people were talking about Saturn returning and going through the planet Saturn affecting Aries and Libra and Pisces and Cancer, and anybody with a planet or an ascendant in Capricorn being affected. But affected where the financial structure flips upside down. No matter what you do, it's getting flipped upside down. Maybe we might go into Bitcoin. Now, I looked at it a little bit. I don't even think that's going to be possible, but who knows? But if it is, there's been a lot of sayings where that Bitcoin can be tracked. So if you ain't doing everything you're supposed to do, they can cut it. It won't work. Hey, that happens now with cell phone. Happens with a bank app. If they think you're off doing something that they can't comprehend or may not want you to do, they clip it so you can't even check through your phone. You got to go into the bank and talk to them. Somehow, all of this is going to change. How many of you have been feeling traumatized? Well, we're shifting from the hard 3D realm of living and crossing the bridge, which is the transitional 4D world, which is compassion, unconditional love, kindness, and grace. But we're almost fighting to express it, to become that. And we shouldn't have to. We just need and desire deeply just to be ourselves without all this hatred going on in the world, without all this division. People want to control certain groups of people. We've seen it already. But guess what? The ancestors of those people that are getting pushed out of here, they're coming. I'll say that again without saying too much. The ancestors from thousands and hundreds of thousands and billions and millions of years ago are coming. So-called ET already here. You just can't see ET already here. ET ain't phoning home. ET is here. Why? Because we're terrestrial beings, and the ETs are the extraterrestrial beings. I mean, they're connected to us. Next time you're out in the mountains hiking, pay attention. Next time you're in the woods hiking or camping, pay attention. Next time you're just walking, minding your own business, sitting somewhere at an outdoor cafe or indoors, pay attention. Not to just the conversation amongst other people, but listen. Something absolutely quietly is happening around you and within you before you know it. I don't believe it's going to take 100 years for us to shift from 3D through 4D into 5D world. I don't think so. Why? Because many are in this state of absolute silence, praying and meditating, and things are shifting from inside of us. The 5D realm is the throat chakra. What you speak starts to come out. You won't have to do too much magic either. It's just going to happen. Why? Because you're beginning to remember. We are being revisited by our ancestors and otherworldly beings. You wake up in the middle of the night, someone calls your name. You know there's no one sitting in your apartment, but someone is having a communication across the many thousands of strands of veils around you, can see you, can talk to you. These eyes are going to open up through this third eye and crown and the base of the skull, and you're going to start seeing beings around you. You're going to wonder, how did they get there, or how did you get there? You're going to experience them. They're not just going to be sitting on the edge of your bed or standing around your altar or standing between you and your altar, just gazing down upon you. Not just in your dreams. The shift is upon us. It's already happening. Listen to the children, the little ones, who are drawn to stones and rocks and gems and sound. They may have a parent who deals with sound healing, tuning forks, Tibetan bowls, crystal bowls, gongs, triangles, glass triangles. Yet, those children came into this world already knowing, already remembering, already communicating with the other side. I remember one time as a child, I used to tell my mother all the time, after experiencing um, lightning in a different way, which is my other book, book number 8 or 9 that I'm working on, but not just talking about the college that I went to, but actually experiencing something on a completely different level. I used to say to her sometimes, I couldn't say it to my father, say it to others, but I could say it to her when I thought no one else would go like this. Mom, last night I had this dream. I didn't feel frightened. I was in some kind of vehicle in the sky with other children, and I mean lots of children, from about maybe 18 years of age all the way down to my age, about 5 or 6, but mainly like 8. 8 to 18, 19. And I felt like we could see the galaxies around us, the twinkling of stars in the heavens. And this vehicle, this thing, I guess a ship, we can call it, it wasn't a saucer, it wasn't round. All I know is we could get up and walk around, we could look through the windows, we could see everything. And the strangest thing, Mom, we can look down and see the earth, look like a little tiny marble. Even the sun in the middle of the Milky Way was tiny. Looked like a mother lode, marble with all the other little planets going around it. But I knew for some reason, how come everything is so bright beyond that galaxy? Because there are other suns, other moons. And some galaxies got more than one moon. I used to tell her, I remember seeing that. And she would just chuckle. She would look at me, just chuckle. She didn't answer, but I could tell that she knew something about what I was talking about. Yeah, I didn't feel like I belong here. And often in and out, I don't feel like I belong here. But I'm not the only one. And here we all are channeling new vibrations and things going on with ourselves and beyond here. Beyond here, here, and here. Yet we're being revisited by ancient ancestors and otherworldly beings. Fear and old hurts, trauma, old ways of thinking and being are being pulled out of us. Yes, we are purging. How many times have you felt like someone just died? I've been feeling that all week. Someone just died. Only to find out it's my old self, the old Francis, the old brother Francis, gradually dying. Your wounded self is being healed gradually, step by step. And we're being elevated gradually, step by step, into a brand new paradigm. Not the old ones, the new one. If you're seeing spirits walk through your residence, sitting in your car, sitting on your bed, these could be old ancient ancestors, immediate ancestors, elders, young ones, otherworldly beings. But maybe these are other parts of ourselves that are in other worlds, other dimensions and realms, coming through this place where we're at. It's Grand Central Station. Other parts of ourselves peering in, looking, sitting side by side, the different appearances, different reflections of yourself. Then there is the higher self. Our higher selves are coming through, and when it is fully in place, the higher self, we will never revisit the old paradigm. Old paradigm, illnesses, illusions, illusionary thinking and feeling, and all that nefarious stuff caught there, no longer part of the higher self, because the higher self is brand new and yet has been evolving as we evolve. Well, here's some of the symptoms. You may have been experiencing them for the past 5 years, 10 months, 10 years, 10 weeks. Nausea, toothaches, body aches through our muscles and joints, tightness in our body, headaches, restlessness, crying out of nowhere. We don't even know why we cry. Weight gain, weight loss, increase or loss of appetite. Now, if you get a loss of appetite, it's not forever, and an increase in appetite is not forever. So mental clouded or down. So some people suffering from high blood pressure, all of a sudden it evens out. And people suffering from low blood pressure, it begins to even out. Then there's that weight gain that comes out of nowhere. But is it really a weight gain or is it bloating up? Our faces blowed up, necks blowed up, pain in the shoulders, in the neck, across the chest, your back aching, throbbing, stuff going on in your stomach and intestinal tract, yet ain't nothing in there. Things happening with your kidneys, yet nothing's in there. Things happening with your liver, yet nothing's in there. Especially if you started shifting and eating differently. You're still releasing water out of the system and everything else. So-called blockages ain't blockages, just gas stuck in your system. Sometimes painful. Sometimes, what is that? Then you sleep different. Your patterns of sleeping have been changing for the past 10 years. Why? Because we got all these gadgets around us. You feel high anxiety, stress, angry all the time, agitated. Sometimes you just want to be by yourself. I'm sitting in a complex. Sometimes I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be by myself. I stay in my apartment or I go out. Why? Because I need to get out because I'm more sensitive now. I can feel things in the hallway. I can feel people in their apartments above me. I'm on top of them. I know they can feel me. I can feel people in the next building. And I'm not trying to feel anybody. Sometimes there's people I seem to be on the same frequency with. Run into them way too much. Like, I don't get on this guy's frequency. Because that tells me my energy is lower. So therefore, I'm on the same frequency with some people instead of higher. But I'm not that low because the higher I get, I've been attracting new people in the past 6 to 8 months, 7 months, new people in my life. powerful people in my life, not just the regular powerful people I've been meeting through the center and outside the center, but well-known celebrity kind of status people. These things happen. You are unable to sleep. And when you do finally fall asleep, you felt like some things are taking place internally. That's where this deep desire to let go of old associations and relationships and so-called friendships are tearing away from you. And you wonder, well, how come I hear from people, but now just certain people around? Why? These are the people who are more like you. All that other stuff ripped away for a reason, and you had to let it go. Sometimes in a gentle way, and other times in a trashy way, a very upsetting way. Yet, you had to learn how to let it go. But you knew something is happening internally. Some kind of upgrade is going on with yourself, and you know it. Why? Because you don't hear from certain people who had certain vibrations or frequencies. You don't even see certain people anymore. People are changing. You're changing. Maybe you're getting ready to move. Then you feel real lonely or an intense desire to be alone and quiet. Got a TV set on. 6 years ago, I was watching a TV 24/7. Now, 3 or 4 hours a day, 1 or 2 hours a day. I'm in front of my computer a lot or on my phone a lot, but less and less and less. Learn to leave my phone in another part of the residence or just cut it off completely. Now, beyond feeling this intense need to be alone and quiet, if you share a home with others, your mate, maybe a housemate, children, young children, especially, you've got to be in touch with the family unit. But if everybody's up and going, but you don't want to isolate them, then you frequently wake up in the middle of the night. I've been doing that for years. I would say ever since 1988. Night. Then getting over here in 2011, and then getting into this area around 2018, I didn't have to do so much praying all the time. Used to pray between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. Just my higher self said, okay, you can stop now. Other people are running the race. You can take a break. But now in these past 6 years, getting up in the middle of the night and just saying thank you, or getting up in the middle of the night and just thinking about others and hoping that they're doing okay. Have you ever waken up where you felt overly stimulated through the dream work? Some of the shamans have said the dream world is the real world, and this waking state is a dream world. In the dream world, we can make the change. Here, changes are slower. Out of body journeys, highly stimulated energy field around you. Is someone or many beings peering in on you, watching you, studying you, wanting to communicate with you? Or maybe you want to communicate with them. I know this is a lot. you finding yourself awake 2 a.m., 3 a.m., or even 4 a.m.? If you are, maybe consider praying, meditating, or just sitting in silence. Now we're coming down to the home stretch. Silence is a part of our desire to remember our divine truth. And within us, all of us, is the rich, vast, deep energy and energetic alignment that attunes us to the heart and mind of the universe. Remembrance is the key. Have you found yourself doing that? You wonder, why am I waking up all the time? What am I waiting for? Sometimes I find myself curious. I want to just go out of my apartment, take the elevator down to the first floor and take a look outside. Sometimes. Silence is a part of our desire. Now, I want to give you an original creative pathwork meditation, and I received it earlier. It's about 11:03 p.m. Mountain Time on July 17th, 2025. I channeled this, so I'm going to keep it brief. The notes are very brief, but I will have to read it to you. It is a meditation, and I suggest that you review this last part as frequently as you can. So when you see it on Resident Essentials YouTube channel, as well as my own Circle of Grace 1 channel, because this is pre-recorded, take notes where the meditation, Creative Pathwork meditation begins. And this is the meditation that will help us tune in and align with our higher self. This one doesn't appear in the book because it's pretty much channeled. I was able to write much of it down, but it's going to help you get there, especially for all of you that are into light, guided meditation with creative light, and crystals. So here's what you need to do, because we're getting reacquainted with our higher self. It is our time to remember now and to put it into motion. I've come to the realization that many of us are here from this new age of the higher self. All the stuff we see happening in the world bring forth the higher self. Higher self can't wait to come out and play. So this is what I want you to do. Find a place where you can sit comfortably, where you won't be disturbed. If you have a cell phone, put it on vibrator or silence. You don't need any music on, but if you so choose, you could probably do it later. But right now, just absolute silence. I want you to begin to visualize, to imagine a blue and gold rays of light. While you're starting to do that, begin to inhale through the nose and let the breath out of the mouth. In through the nose, out of the mouth. Do that 1 or 2 more times. Go back to focusing on this golden rays of light bursting into flames from your head, back, head, especially when you're in that location, engulfing your entire body. Your entire body is inside of a braid of light, BRIDE. RID. One braid is a radiant gold. Through the center of this braid, because it begins to expand, the more you place your awareness into it, your remembrance, right in the center of this braid is a royal purple amethyst light. So first see the blue and the gold envelope you. They're braided on their own and they wrap around your entire, and right in the center, coming down, is a column of a royal purple amethyst light. And around it, being woven inside of that amethyst light, is a blue kyanite light, a column. So a big expanded column in the center of the braided lights of blue and gold. Inside of the blue and gold is a royal purple amethyst sheath, a column. And inside of that is the blue kyanite. And mixed in the center of that is a pure selenite light. Now, you can see this and feel this. All of these braided energies and columns coming together. Blue, gold, amethyst, right? A blue kyanite, right? And then selenite. Now, at the base, there's a black obsidian. So as those sheaths come down, forming underneath your feet and the rest of your body, is a black flame, shiny like obsidian. And capped on the top is a moldavite energy field. And you're encased. Now, again, you've got what? Blue and gold flames braided individually and then together. And then that expands. And in the center is a pure amethyst, purple light. And inside of that is a blue kyanite light. So that's blue, gold, amethyst, kyanite, and then selenite, dead center, selenite, that's 5. At the base is obsidian, that's 6. And at the top, capping the top, is moldavite, that's 7. 7 gemstone rays and colors. Very special. And I want you to feel these lights engulfing your entire being, awareness and remembrance of your higher self. And they fill you up through every pore in your body, every organ, every blood vessel. It's not squeezing anything, it's throbbing. And it's energizing everything else on the inside, outside of your body, inside of your body. Your organs are being flushed and recalibrated, being purged out and recalibrated with these seven flaming streams of light. And as you begin to feel them, taking your time, absorbing each and every one and feeling them as being infinite rays shining forth from the great central sun. An infinite, energizing, serious, blue, radiant light pouring out of your crown and your heart and your brow, your third eye. This light is pouring out of you. It's in you, it's on you, it's radiating deeply in the palms of your hands and the soles of your feet. And all of it is now converging in you as the absolute, infinite silence, as the womb of remembrance. All 7 rays. a beautiful royal blue, royal golden ray, braiding, then expanding and braiding, then expanding until it gets past your shoulders. And then coming down is that royal purple amethyst light, cleansing, cleansing old parts of you and shining up new parts of you. And inside of that, a blue kyanite column, polishing up that energy on the inside. And then a sheath, a column of pure selenite coming through, refurbishing and rebalancing your entire system, even in your spinal column, the disc, and every internal organ. You feel radiant, you feel crystalline. You know something has happened. Absolute silence, an intelligent form from the heart and mind of the prime creator, and you're its infinite thought, infinite heart. Your perceptions are its perceptions. And you're communicating, you're allowing your higher self to come forward out of the deepest chambers of silence within yourself. You don't have to birth the higher self, it already is. It's just been waiting for all of us to reawaken. It's waiting for all of us to embrace it again. Your higher self has been waiting to bring you into this new paradigm, the new age of the higher self. Take that in, embrace it, call it your higher self. Until next time, remember that divine grace is a blessing. As we're alive and well in the age of remembrance. And hopefully I'll be on live come July 24th. Take care. Namaste. And I salute the salubrious part of you. Take care now.